Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Gentlewoman with Grace Hayden. It is so good to be back, and I'm just excited to talk to my 30 friends who watch this and listen to it. Um, Basically, I have this new microphone in my hand, and you may be wondering, where did you get that? It's so cool. You look so fresh and awesome, and yeah, I understand like how that might come across as difficult to process how cool I look, but this is real. This is me, and this is my new little microphone. Sorry, don't know if I'm using it right, but this is my new microphone that my good boyfriend Asher got me because he's the best boyfriend ever and sent me podcast equipment overseas. Um, because, well, actually, he didn't even know that I was planning on starting it back up this Sunday, but I really wanted to hold myself accountable for doing something for myself each week, especially that I'm not like monetizing off of, like not trying to make money off of. Um, this is just a passion of mine, creative outlet of mine, if you will. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to talk to you guys again and talk to myself more because this is like a little form of therapy. But if you did not know, I did move to Paris for my study abroad experience. I also just realized I'm recording this on iPhone.com. So, like my face, like the video. So, if it cuts early, like that's not my fault. That's because we ran out of storage. So, this episode might be a little bit shorter, but that's okay. Basically, I landed in Paris on January 13th. So, I have been here for a minute. This is my little apartment. The sun is rising right now, which is pretty early for the sun to rise in Paris. It's usually dark out right now, so I don't really know what's happening. Like maybe it's getting lighter out earlier, which I'd be totally okay with because the darkness until like 10 a.m. that's usually happening here isn't sitting with me well. It's really not. Um, so I put my tulips on the little balcony. It's not really balcony. It's just like um, barred off my windows. I don't really know why it's there, but it's really cute and like every house has it. And yeah, I really love it here. I live alone, so that's really fun. Gets a little lonely at times, but I always figure out something to do. And I've been having a good time. School started last week. Yeah. No, this week. Okay, yeah, so like last week because the first classes were on Monday. So this coming Monday will be the second week of school. I somehow attended or decided to attend an Ivy League school in France. Don't know how that happened, but basically I'm sitting in all my classes and every one of my professors is going, and because you chose an Ivy, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, did I choose this? No. Is this the program that my university had in Paris, France? Yes. So I don't know how University of Maryland got me here. College name drop. I always forget that I like try to not do that, but whatever. Um, Go Terps. I did not say that. Anyway, moving right on. You can actually hear everything that my neighbors do. And I don't know if you just picked it up, but one of them was just coughing. Around 6 p.m. every night, a child screams at the top of his freaking lungs. And it's the funniest thing ever because I'm like, who hurt this child? Like, who? Like, it's obviously a kid, like, in an apartment just, like, throwing a temper tantrum. But I'm like, who is hurting this child at 6 p.m.? Like, it's probably nap time or something, or bedtime even. I don't know, but he just does not have it. And he screams at the top of his lungs, and it is always on cue. And it is not funny because it's a child crying, but it's just like, what's going on? But anyway, Asher's thing that he got me, this little podcast setup, has a freaking sound box. So I don't even know if my microphone sounds like as perfect as it could, but you're about to hear a laugh track that you haven't heard since the 19 freaking 60s, because get a load of this. Okay, I think it's over. I can like watch if it's making sound on the board, but I can't hear it, which is also really interesting because now I'm like, how the hell were people able to use like laugh tracks and such if they couldn't hear it? Like, what's the cue? I don't know. How did they know how long it was? Also, I don't know. All very interesting stuff that's going on. And yeah, so basically the why I brought that up is because my school like is not an American university in Paris. It's a French university that American and like other nationalities, other places um, of students like you can go to. So they're really not accommodating to like the want to travel or like possibly miss class if you like plan a week thing. Like they're very much like two absences that are unexcused for any reasons. You fail the class. Um, yeah, you're 10 minutes late, you're counted as absent. I'm like, now wait a second. Because in America, and not that I do this, but you can fully get away with, you can get straight A's in your college classes and not go to class. So the fact that they're like taking attendance, every teacher I had took attendance. This piece of hair is bothering me. Every teacher I had took attendance. And I guess partially it was because like to name call us and like have us introduce ourselves. But I'm like, if this happens every class, like what the hell? Because France pretty often like goes on strike for things. And when they go on strike, the metro shuts down, the buses shut down, the streets are impossible to get through because there's people striking in the streets. Like it is legit, and the current issue right now is they're like trying to raise the retirement age from like 62 to 64. So like not that I have a say in it or anything, but my professor is being like, on Tuesday when there's a strike, like you're coming to class, like I don't care. My school hasn't the school hasn't given me protocol, like you have to come. So that means on Tuesday, in 2 days, class will either be canceled and put on Zoom. Like that's the thing. I'm like, just put your class on Zoom. Like we just did it for 2 years. Like why does it have to be in person? But anyways, I had to walk an hour to school because Paris is a huge city. If you didn't know that about Paris, it is ginormous. So I still live in Paris and can walk an hour and still like be in Paris, like trying to find my way. And my French class that day doesn't end until 9:15 at night. And if the trains aren't running and Uber can't get me home because the streets are so crowded, I'm like, now wait a second. Like, how is this safety? How is this putting students' well-being first? Like, they literally just sent an email about putting students' well-being first. And now I'm like, well, as a woman, I had to walk there and back in the dark. That doesn't seem too fair. Because my French teacher hasn't said anything either, and I only have 2 classes that day as of this week. Starting the next week, I'll have 3. Um, and I'm just like, okay, so we're just putting everyone at danger, putting everyone at risk for people lurking in the night? Like, why is that fair? Oh, I also cut my hair, which has definitely been a journey because I never thought I was going to go this short again. It was to like here. Just because every time I do this, I'm a little bit annoyed with myself. And I am at that stage. I am there. But I curled it in to give it more like a Princess Diana look, and I'm trying to put my bangs down. Sorry, I need to keep the mic near my face. I'm not used to having like a mobile mic. Like I feel like Kelsey Kruppel with Circle Time. She has her mobile mic. But yeah, I got a blow dryer brush because mine, when I brought it here and tried to use it as a like converted outlet, it blew up in my hands. Laugh. Sorry, I had to use the laugh track. It's 9 a.m. in the morning and I'm cracking myself up. Like that's what you have to do when you live alone. Like there's no other. Oh my God, I forgot to wear my headphones. I could have heard what I sounded like. I could have heard the laughter. No. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Next time, next Sunday, I'll be back. Actually, I'm even thinking of posting twice a week, but like with more structured content. And I really, 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 really want to interview people. So if we've talked about it, if we haven't talked about it, and you want to be on this podcast, like please, we can do it over Zoom. For for us, like if you're in America, 2 p.m. for me is your like 8 a.m. So if we can coordinate around that somehow and make it work, like have a morning for you, and I'm doing a little afternoon recording, that would be great. There's a motorcycle going by. I have no idea if you can hear it or not. Um, and that's where the headphones would have come in handy. So I have to remember that for next time. But yeah, please, I really, really, really want to have people on. Allison, if you're listening, I want to have you on because you told me you want to be on, and I just love that. Like, I love when my friends are interested in what I'm doing because that really makes me happy and feel loved. So, yes, that's who I am. That's how we're doing. Mentally, I've been pretty good, I think. I've really been taking a note out of the TikTok girlies books and journaling every day, and it really has been helpful because especially when I don't have anyone to talk to all day, the journal really feels like I'm talking to someone because I'm like, okay, so I did this, this, and this today, like mostly so I don't forget what I did like while I'm here. I really want to be able to look back and like know where I went and who I hung out with and how I was feeling. Like I think that's just good for your mental health in general to like know that about yourself. And you can't know all that unless you write it all down. So like your memory only goes so far. So I'm really happy that I've been doing that. I have been pretty consistent since my mom left Paris because she came with me at first and we did like all the touristy stuff. So I didn't really have time to like journal and like be by myself because it's a very like private thing and like personal practice, I believe. And I think that's why it's really helping me while living alone because it's so personable and because like you kind of get to know yourself better like when you journal. And I think that's great. And it really promotes like healing and growth and thinking about like your actions and maybe saying like, oh, I could have been like a better friend this way, or I could have worked harder on this, or I could have like done my Pilates today, which is another thing I've been trying to do. But I'm not really restricting myself to just like Pilates. I'm really just trying to get like 20 to 30 minutes of like low impact movement in every day, because I'm already walking a lot. I'm getting around 10,000, 13,000 steps every day just from living in Europe and like needing to walk everywhere. But I'm trying to do like low impact exercises. I did get a yoga mat here, which is lovely, and really just like trying to stretch and like get my body parts moving that aren't usually moving, like my hips and my neck and my legs and everything, like my knees. Because sometimes I wake up in like excruciating pain, and I swear to God it's because of the drug Accutane. I used to literally be like always ready to wake up and like get working, get a workout in, whatever. But my body has, for the past year, which is when I've like officially been off Accutane. Yeah. Well, no, I haven't been off it for a year. Right now, last year, I would have been in like my third month or my fourth month. So around like May, it will have been a year that it's like fully out of my system. I think at least. But yeah, I just like struggle with I think it's like chronic pain, and I've never like told a doctor about this, but I really do like need to go see someone about it because it's very bothersome, like always being in pain and always being tired. So if anyone has recommendations on how to deal with that, I really think it also has stuff to do with like my cortisol and all that good stuff and like when you work out on your cycle and blah, blah, blah. I just have to look into it more. I could maybe look into it more and then do an episode on it and see what I find. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I have going on. I do want to talk about study abroad. Oh my God, it is like so cold outside. I really need to close this window. but I will when I stop the podcast. So, study abroad, I would just note that if you're not here right now or like you didn't get to do it in college, like please do not worry about it. It is a lot to live in a new city with a language you don't speak alone, trying to make friends, like going to school, getting used to a new system of learning because especially for me, like I have to follow the French rules of school, which are pretty different um, than the American rules of like school and writing, all that good stuff. So just don't get yourself in a tizzy about like not being able to go or feeling like you're missing out because what you're missing out on sometimes is overpriced dinners and bad conversations and overpriced drinks and, not getting into bed early enough because you went out like far too in advance because everything here starts really late at night. And yeah, it's just like the truths as you like sit here and live it like come out. And not that I'm not extremely grateful that I'm here, like I'm having a great time. I plan to do some work today, take myself out on a museum date to the Rodin Museum. Rodin, I don't know how to say it in French. But yeah, I just like wouldn't get yourself caught up in the like mess of like, oh, I didn't get to go and everyone's there right now because yes, it's very fun and everything, but you can do this at whatever age. Like there's always um, time in your life to come here if you want to make time for it. And I think like 2 weeks in a country is perfectly enough time where like to the point where you want to go home after. And I haven't had the feelings of like I want to go home yet, but I have had the feelings of like, oh, like now I'm really not going to take for granted that 7-minute walk to class that I have to do at UMD because here I have to take a 35-minute metro just to get to my school. And at UMD, I literally live on campus and I walk zero point 0.5 seconds to my classes and I'm there. So like it's little things like that that you take for granted. And even stuff like an oven, like I love baking and now I can't bake here. I guess unless I did something in like the pan. But that's kind of hard with a baked good. And a lot of people don't have washer and dryers. Like, thank God I have a dryer. I mean, I have a washer, and this is like my drying rack system. It's on my radiator, so it gets like hot and can dry. But a lot of kids I know like don't even have a washer, so they have to like, and this is like Paris specific, obviously, but they have to like go to a laundromat all the time, and that's a lot. Like, I have to go to the laundromat to wash my sheets. So I don't have to be there like every day, but like laundry adds up and I have a small washer, so I have to do like little loads as I go. Um, but yeah, I just was thinking like wanting to tell people that like I guess you're not alone in feeling that way, but you're also like once you're here, like me and some friends were talking about this last night. Like you can only see something so many times before it loses its like grandeur. And it's like I've now seen the Mona Lisa like 3 times, and I'm just like, there's so many more beautiful like paintings in this museum that people don't stare at or get in line to take a selfie with. Um, it's all just for like the moment, the Instagram, the this, the that. And so, yeah, it's just interesting how like you like fantasize about something and then you like get it. And then you're like, oh, okay, like it's normal. Like I'm just a normal person. I have to fit in. I have to like try to speak my French. I have to do this, that, and the other thing. Like it's not as glamorous as everyone wants to make it seem. As I try to make it seem on Instagram, like, come on, you all know Gracie Hay is out here making it look like I'm having the time of my life. But a lot of the time I'm chilling in my apartment, making myself food, hanging out with myself, doing some workouts, like that's fine too. Um, I just think a lot of people act like normalcy and like normal living just goes out the window and you need to like travel everywhere. that you want to go and blah blah blah. And I get, and if that's you, like I totally get it. That's just like not my vibe. I am gonna try to plan some trips today, but I don't want to be gone like every weekend. I love that the sun's like rising behind me. It's so cute. Um, like I feel like I chose Paris for a reason, so I really do want to like explore it more and have some fun while doing it. So that's all I really have for you guys today. I'm so excited to be back, and thank you again, Asher, for motivating me to start again with my new equipment. Um, okay, have a great Sunday, everyone. Mwah.